All right, let's look now at a formula that we may want to use. Really, all we're looking at here in this square is a factorial written slightly differently. Recall that the general definition of a factorial is equal to n multiplied by n minus 1 multiplied by n minus 2 multiplied by n minus 3 until eventually we have 2 times 1, depending on what your n is. So in this box, what we've basically said is, well, let's rewrite that as n factorial times n minus 1. And, well, we're still following the rule of a factorial with the rest of this, where we're starting at some number here now, and we're multiplying it by, well, what would be n minus 1. So if we started at, or rather, we're starting here at n minus 1. So if we started at n minus 1, we would then multiply it by n minus 2, or rather n minus 1 minus 1 again, if you want to think about it that way. All right, so if we started with n minus 1 factorial, we would then start with n minus 1 and multiply it by n minus 1 minus 1, so on. So we can just kind of clip off our general description or definition of a factorial wherever we want. So we can write a whole factorial of just a number n as equal to n times n minus 1 factorial, like that. Or we could also, if we wanted to, keep going and stop it there, for example. It doesn't matter. We can keep going and adding minus 1s as we see fit. And you will see where this why this may be helpful in the next few examples. But let's just make sure that that this is still right. So if you don't believe me that we can do that for some reason, let's prove it here by putting some numbers in. And we'll use 5 for n, where we just did a 5 factorial example previously. So let's do factorial like this. So if n is our n, we'll do n factorial here is equal to 1. And using the other formula, we'll say, okay, if n is 1, we'll have 1 times 1 minus 1, which is 0. Well, that's also equal to 1. Okay, so what about if n was 2? 2 factorial is 2 times 1. Well, that's 2. And under this other version of it, we'll say n is 2, so 2 multiplied by 2 minus 1, well, that's 1 factorial. Well, that's also equal to 2. Okay, let's do the next one. 3 factorial. 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. Or in this formula, we'll have 3 multiplied by a 2 factorial. And 2 factorial is 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. I think you should see where this is going now. Four times 3 factorial, which we just saw above, is 6. So 4 times 6 is 24. Finally, 5 factorial equals 5 times 4. Just like this. So 5 times 4 factorial will be 5 times 24, which is 120. So yeah, n factorial, just like that, is still equal to n times n minus 1 factorial. And like I showed you above, we could continue with this if we wanted to that, or we could just keep going. And you can stick in the factorial after any one of these brackets, just like that. You can keep going. And we're going to see how this may be helpful in the following examples.